Hi, welcome to our rad vlog for February 23rd. And we are playing some adapted riffs from Tony Williams, playing on a jazz song called Hittin' on Six. So we know we're in a ternary time. One of the sophisticated things that Tony Williams did in this song was had a fundamental cymbal pattern that was a 4-count pattern. On this one, we're going to count just the bell pattern and give you that to work on with the counting, and the rest I'm just going to use the intonation. So just the bell pattern on the ternary count is going to go like this. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. That's something you can practice all by itself, playing that pattern, but speaking it on the ternary count. This is a great way to start getting a feel for that particular polyrhythm. Another way, besides playing on an actual dunoon, to practice these two-handed parts, if all you have is say a djembe, you want to get a little more of the feel of these two-handed parts. If it's your djembe, you're permitted to hit it with a stick. If it's anybody else's, you should probably not, and definitely ask permission. But you can use a stick on the rim shot to get the bell sound, and then use your dominant hand on the bass for the bass sound, and you can use a tone for the pitched up or the press sound. Disclaimer, if you have a thin head on your djembe, like a thin goat, stick might not be the best idea. This particular one happens to be camel, which is definitely a medium weight head and is pretty tough. Stick can tear through a thin djembe head fairly quickly. For phrase A, our spoken part is going to be both. Both, bell, 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 both. Bell, bell, both. Both, bell, 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 both. Bell, bell, both. For the transposition for these patterns onto a world beat drum, I have interpreted the bass drum as a bass sound. If we were playing a dunoon, we would play the snare as a press, just to get a little bit of a higher pitch. On the djembe, you can play it as a press or as a tone. And it's going to take a minute to get these parts. So be kind to yourself as you work on these parts. Both, rest, both, bell, rest, bell, bell, both, rest, bell, bell, both, rest, both, bell, rest, bell, bell, both, rest, bell, bell, both, rest, both, bell, rest, bell, bell, both, rest, bell, bell, both. All right, there you have phrase 1. Phrase B, we have the exact same bell pattern. The intonation of phrase B is both bass, bell, 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 rest, both, rest, bell, bell, both, bass, bell, 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 rest, both, rest, bell, bell, both. Here we go. Both bass, bell, 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 rest, both, rest, bell, bell, both, bass, bell, 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 rest, both, rest, bell, bell, both, bass, bell, 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 rest, both, rest, bell, bell. have phrase B. Phrase C is an even more sophisticated phrase. The beginning of it is similar to what we have been playing. It's going to be both rest, bell, both bell, bass, both rest. The last note of the third beat and all of the fourth beat is triplets. So we're going to have 6 strokes where 4 are expected. Taka di mi, takita, taka di mi, taka di mi, takita, taka di mi, takita, like that. So that's something you can practice. And I recommend when we're doing tricky phrases, break it down. First, work on voicing the cadence. Then work on intoning the rhythm. Then work on adding in your hands. The intonation for this part, bearing in mind we have to fit in that time shifting for the triplets on the last 4 notes, is both rest, bell, both bell, bass, both rest, bass, 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 both rest, bell, both bell, bass, both rest, bass, 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 both. Now we put it together. Both rest, bell, both bell, bass, both rest, bass, 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 both rest, bell, both bell, bass, both rest, bass, 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 both rest, bell, both bell, bass, both rest, bass, 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 bass. There you have our adapted parts from Tony Williams' Hittin' on 6 to Remember Tony Williams on This Day. It is kind of funny that we are going a little backwards. The jazz kit evolved from the parts of the West Africa drum. That's the most common theory, and you can see how that logically happens. You've got the dunoon, that's your kick drum and your floor toms, and then you've got the bells on the dunoon turn into your cymbals. The djembe, the solo drum, is your snare. Taking a look at the rhythms, you can see this is actually a very African sounding style of play, so it transcribes very well back to the hand drums. And I hope this gets the idea across that even some of the most sophisticated drummers, which for me tends to mean the jazz drummers, we can still take a look, take a listen to what they did, and we can learn a lot from that and apply that to our hand drumming, apply it to what we take to the drum circle. I hope you're digging our daily lessons. Thank you for joining us again today, and we will look forward to the next one.